Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. This is a really special day. The Logan School welcomes you all on this special day, the day of continuation in our school. Welcome to friends, families, and visitors. Welcome to our student. But the most important welcome goes to the continuing students of 2006. A bittersweet task is ahead for us today. We must say goodbye to 21 wonderful students, yet be proud of their readiness to leave us. We will say farewell to years and years of sharing the joy of learning with these students, of work, of laughter, of pride and accomplishment, of marvelous experiences because of this institution we call school. And more specifically and lovingly, because of this place we call the Logan School for Creative Learning. My class spent time this spring in Utah and in Arizona, following the path of the Colorado River. During our trip, we examined some ancient dwellers' homes, pictographs, and petroglyphs. We imagined those peoples who left us these shadows of their lives, ghost of the past lingering in the curve of an animal's horn, a storyline on a wall. As all of us say goodbye to students each year, I see their shadows lingering too, leaving us all a legacy of memories. Whether in public presentations and dramas, or personal triumphs and understandings, these young adults with whom we have been so fortunate to work and learn have left their marks upon our lives. They leave imprints in our consciousness that will be here at the Logan School for a long time. Excuse me. So because we want to hear from them, I will close with one line of a poem from a student of long ago. Her memory lingers still. I may look fragile to the human eye, but if you really stare at my common figure, you will find strength and complexity. And I am here, so instead of just glancing, why don't you stare? Thank you. Stephanie Welsh, as chair of the Board of Trustees, it is my privilege to present to you the continuing class of 2006. My colleague, Patty McKittle, and I do certify that they have met the requirements of continuing students at the Logan School.
Thank you. Yesterday, I received in the mail a letter from a Logan alum, and it had a quote from John Ruskin in it. And when I read it, I thought it perfectly captured the essence of a Logan education. It says, "The highest reward for a person's work is not what they get for it, but what they become because of it." The Logan School recognizes that the real value in education is when it's a tool for becoming the person that you want to be. And so Logan gave you the opportunity to learn with no ceilings, to follow your passions and explore your interests, to practice making choices and decisions, to take risks, to take responsibility for your choices, to be a part of the community, and to appreciate others' talents and skills. Logan's a challenging school. You've worked hard here, and you've probably received many rewards for your efforts. Perhaps the praise of a teacher, perhaps a good grade in math, or maybe not. Maybe a prize in a writing competition, or an amazing theatrical or musical performance, the appreciation of your parents and seeing the pride on their faces, and the satisfaction of a job well done at many, many expos. But I believe that the greatest reward you will receive from your work here, and the reward is a result not just of your successes but your failures as well, is that your work has helped shape the person that you are today and the person you'll become tomorrow. We respect and we admire the people that you have become, and we are very proud of all of you. I want to thank all of you for coming today. Thank Becky Godek and all the other people who arranged this ceremony, to all the teachers and staff who got the kids here, to all of you parents who got the kids here in so many literal and figurative kinds of ways, to all the students and alumni who make Logan the great community it is, and to the class of 2006 for all you have given in your time here. Thank you. It's a remarkable community. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I accept the class of 2006 for continuation.
And we have some words from our head of school.
So you're here. You've done it. Congratulations. Last year at this time, I tried to tell a story that I thought would serve as advice, but I don't really know how well it went over. I did that because on this day, we adults are expected to offer advice, as though you need or want any, as though anything I say today is going to have any real impact on your life beyond today. But I believe you do need to hear something. You need to hear something so simple, so clear, that no one could miss its point or its meaning, and I won't garble it up. Besides, Patty said I only had a minute or two, or maybe three. So here goes. Help. We need your help. We need your involvement. We need you to care. Act, and you can make a huge impact in the life of your home, your school, our town, our country, and our planet. Act by getting involved and taking responsibility. And act also in your attitude. Help make sense when no one is making sense. Help bring reason and respect where they have gone missing from discourse. Help science to find the answers and faith to soothe. Help bring justice until justice is everywhere. Help, and you will end apathy and acquiescence. You know, life in high school and beyond, it's a lot like life at Logan, one thing after another. I'm not going to pretend that some of them aren't horrible, but you can also always find the beauty and the wonder. And it is that beauty and that wonder which can inspire and empower you. Long, long, long ago when I was in college, there was a popular book called The 100th Monkey. The basic premise of the book was that there was this monkey on some Japanese island who washed her fruit, and another monkey saw her and started washing his fruit, and another monkey, and pretty soon there's lots of monkeys eating clean fruit. Anyway, at some point, it all of a sudden, as if by magic, all the monkeys on the Japanese islands, whether they had seen the original monkey or not, were washing their fruit. Now, at the time, I had difficulty believing the story. I mean, how can a practice of some magically become the practice of all? But you know, think of how few votes it actually takes to change an election. Think of how few people have actually needed to act at that critical moment in human history to change our world. And so, you know, maybe you are that 100th monkey or person. Maybe your involvement will change the world. So act, and don't stop acting. The art you create can celebrate the beauty and the wonder of our world. The faith you embrace can glorify what is just and good. The law you practice can instill your hopes and dreams. The people you teach can sustain all of this. Here at Logan, you have already experienced the exhausting reality that there's always something going on and there's always something to do. And now I am asking that when you make choices in the future, make them mindfully and make them carefully. Choose what you care about, but choose something and then act. You will always be able to act. So do it. Act to solve every problem we face. And then we'll save the world. Be well. Congratulations. Thank you.
Great advice. We have a musical gift from one of our continuing students, Stephanie Zawinski.
Are you on?
thanks for that gift. I think we all enjoyed that. We have class speaker for both Linda's class and my class, so we will begin with my class speaker, Layla Moja. Remember,
I would like to begin by reciting a quote from one of my favorite books, Dogland by Will Shetterly. The book begins with these seemingly simple words. It was a dream, then it was a place, then it was a memory. In many ways, I believe this applies to Logan. In the beginning, it was just a dream. Though the dream could be the actual idea of the school, I think that it's really about our parents. They had the dream to send their children to a school that, as my mother has said, would be full of lovely opportunities. Imagine a group of parents, all knowing that their 5-year-olds were different from the rest in their playgroups, looking for somewhere to let their little ones bloom. They wanted a place for their children to fit in, to not feel so different, to not hide their inner power. Today, we still see those parents that come in for a tour of the school. Curious, unsure, and nervous, hoping that what they want in their hearts could actually be true. Clearly, our parents have chosen something right. I can tell by just looking at how we've all grown. It was a dream, then it was a place, then it was a memory. So for us, it developed into a place. This part of the journey is coming to an end for us now, but we've been through a lot together. We've been all over, water testing, journaling, exploring, learning, interacting, sailing, surviving bad weather, driving, camping, doing service projects, enjoying each other, and sometimes even wishing that we were all alone. Moments from all this are what we take with us. Because we've been exposed not only to the world, but also to each other, we're able to become better people. People who unquestionably know how to problem solve and how to get along together. Logan has given each of us a lot. I can't really say that it is one or two specific things, but several things mixed up together. It is knowledge, awareness, consideration, passion, commitment, respect, care, being able to listen, and being able to stand up for ourselves. Knowing when to step back and knowing how to treat people younger and older than we are. When you put all of these things together, you get a group of young adults ready for the world. It was a dream, then it was a place, then it was a memory. As we continue on our journey, the place will fade into a memory. We will eventually realize that we can no longer remember every detail of the place, but somehow we'll come to a new understanding of it. Of course, the most important things will remain. But I'm not sure that in 5 years we're going to remember every single assignment that we ever have had, but you never know. In some ways, memories become different and sometimes even more special than the place. I'm confident that we will not let all of these slip away, that most of what Logan has given us will always remain, because it has become part of who we are. Now before I go, I would like to read a quote by Mary Ann Williamson. It has really meant a lot to me. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? I want all of us to not be afraid of being powerful, to not be afraid to have influence on our world. We're coming into a world that is full of problems, and hopefully we will be the ones solving them. Certainly it's going to be a challenge, but it's one I think we can handle. There's also not always going to be a right answer to all of these problems. There won't be someone standing behind us saying, "Good job, you made the right choice." We only have each other to support us. But through all this, I certainly have a lot of hopes. Hopes for a peaceful world, hopes to tackle global warming, hopes to diminish global hunger. But my biggest hope is that we won't hold ourselves back, because certainly the world needs us. Thank you.
and from Linda's class, Talia Zaks.
day, we find metaphors where we least expect them, especially in the last few months, as our class's continuation from Logan approached. Everything seemed to speak of new beginnings as well as farewells. One day, a couple of months ago, while ice skating, I was having a fair amount of trouble with the opening of a jump called the loop, which involves taking off and landing on the same foot, which is much harder than it sounds. In order to land successfully, you must be totally balanced and focused. Every time I tried, something went wrong. I got frustrated, and my coach, Jessica, in an effort to help, presented me with one of the most striking metaphors I have discovered. The jump, she said, is just an extension of the entrance. These words have echoed in my head ever since. The jump isn't just an extension of the entrance. Just think about it. If you make the right entrance, you make the right jump. That's not to say that there is only one right jump. There are so many to choose from. Every one of us is a signature jump, one which people will see and recognize as ours and ours alone. Whether we choose a loop, a flip, a split jump, or an axel, we will always be known for it. This is such an apt way of considering the jump that all of us are making into our futures and how Logan has prepared us for it. Let me put it another way. Remember when I said that loop involves taking off and landing on the same foot? If we all land on the foot which we are taking off on today, and I have no doubt that we shall, we will most certainly be landing on the best one. Logan has prepared us to make an ideal entrance into our new world. After years of practice, we are finally leaping, and for all of us, it is exciting, but also incredibly nerve-wracking. After all, as soon as we jump, we'll be over completely new territory, and that is terrifying for anybody. I know, however, that we are completely up to the challenge, because we have anticipated this moment for so long. Logan worked with each of us to create a unique entrance, and then, as the years progressed, practiced it with us over and over and over, making small changes to it here and there. Finally, today, our entrance is as close to perfect as it will ever be, because it is time to start the jump. Let me present you with another metaphor. A little more than a week ago, I ran the Boulder, a 10-kilometer race held in Boulder every Memorial Day. The race ends in CU's Folsom Stadium. This year, as I sat in the stands, I noticed a motto on the shirt on the woman in front of me. To her, it probably spoke to the determination needed to run the race, but to me, it meant much, much more. If I correctly remember the slogan, it said, "The will to win is nothing without the will to prepare." Wow. This relates directly to the entrance and the jump, and that nothing great happens without even greater preparation. Everyone is born with the will to win, but very few people have the greater gift, which is the will to prepare. You cannot win anything without practicing. This is the mindset that Logan has trained us in, and it is one which will stick with us for the rest of our lives. There are many famous examples of the success it brings, and while I can think of quite a few, this one sticks in my mind most of all. My piano teacher once told me the story of a great pianist who, when asked, "What is the way to Carnegie Hall?" responded, "Practice, practice, practice." This is the kind of answer that makes one think. Directions can be given literally or figuratively. Logan has always given us few of one, but much of the other. Looking back, it is obvious that our entrances were not made for us, but crafted by our own hands with others gently pushing all the way. The class of 2006 will be connected for the rest of our lives. Whatever corners of the world we spread to, whether we stick together, talk for once in a while, or meet 30 years from now as virtual strangers, we will always have an incredible bond as the Logan School's class of 2006. Today, as we exit our old world, we are only beginning our jumps. When I look forward into our new world, I see something larger than any one of us alone. I see a bright world, a new world, a fresh world. I see potential. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have a second musical gift by a continuing student, Kendall Kelly. I guess that's practice, practice, practice. It is my privilege now to introduce you to someone you know well. All of you have known Justine Zolo for many, many years. And we are saying goodbye to Justine this year as she moves to her work at the Gathering Place. And we thought it would be special for all of us to have some words from Justine today. So, Justine, go on.
Kendall, if I knew you were going to do that, I would have organized a balletic gift that we would have all done today. Thanks. So you guys are continuing, and you're continuing from the Logan School, and I realize that there's something really obvious that's never been discussed at continuation. Does that make everyone nervous? I hope not. Well, it's this. Let's begin with the obvious. The Logan School is a school for gifted students, which makes you all gifted, right? And so I'm wondering how much thought you've given to that. Have you thought about what it means to be gifted? Have you thought about what it's going to mean at a new school and in the bigger world? And I'm bringing this up because I actually have been thinking about this for a lot of years. And it started about the same time when I was ready to go to high school, and I was having an argument with my mother, believe it or not. And to one of her points in the argument, I decided to respond with the rhetorical flourish of, well, I'm gifted. To which she replied, oh yeah? Well, $1 in that'll get you on the subway. And gifted people that you are, you know that the subway was $1 at the time, which is the equivalent of $1 in New York language. And that was confusing to me. I thought, is she saying that being smart is worth nothing? That my intelligence won't give me an edge? Is she telling me that the world doesn't care that I got a 98 on my English lit test? What does it mean? Well, I don't have an answer for you. I'm still thinking about it. And there's been a host of questions in my life that began with that one short comment. And they're questions that you will encounter as well. You'll need to decide what your giftedness means. And as with all gifts, giftedness is both a blessing and a curse. You will undoubtedly experience your giftedness as both. I know that you have already experienced joy while uncovering the deeper meaning of a poem or the elegance of an equation. And you've probably felt wonder and excitement when you've discovered an emerging pattern of thoughts and ideas. It's wonderful to have a brain that makes connections, that dreams and invents and creates. But you also know that that same brain can manufacture perfectionism, be plagued with doubt, and be wired in mysterious ways that are sometimes frustrating. And you may have also found yourself painfully aware of injustice and discord. When your family was trying to figure you out, at some point they came across the checklist, right? A listing of the attributes of giftedness, and on it they have found sensitivity to issues of fairness. And that makes me think of all the times in mid-class that you all yelled, "It's not fair." And that's not even on here. You would have also found on that list deep feelings and an awareness of injustice. So how do you explore these attributes of giftedness? Well, first of all, you start by claiming them as you and your own. And you recognize the power of those feelings and insights. When you see injustice, when you empathize, let yourself be called to act. Use your sight and feelings and intellect for a purpose larger than yourself. Create and invent mechanisms, art, ideas, and institutions that foster justice and fairness. And I'm asking you to explore these attributes and gifts of giftedness for 2 reasons. 1, that the world certainly needs hearts and minds dedicated to the greater good. But 2, and most importantly, and that's why I have my tissue, is because I care about you. I was trying to make it past that one, guys. Sorry. And 2, because I care about you. And I know that if you travel this path and you explore these ideas, that you will have a beautiful and meaningful life. A real life, connected to others in community, in fellowship. Oh, don't start. There are people in the audience I'm trying not to look at this moment. You will open yourself to all kinds of teachers. And some of you know this already when you think of the women at the gathering place that you have learned from, and the stories at Morning Star that you have been gifted with. If you explore your depth of heart and expand your courage of spirit, you will be engaged in change and connection. You will be reminded that your gifts have a greater purpose if they have a purpose greater than yourself. Maybe that's what my mother was trying to tell me. Maybe even these attributes of giftedness, if you put them to good use, at least you'll have interesting company on the ride, and the tracks may go to unexpected and wondrous places. Maybe you will even help change the system. Maybe it'll be free. You won't even need a buck. You just take your gifts. At the very least, you'll arrive at the station knowing you've been on a journey where you have contributed, participated, and loved. That would be a gift, much more than a buck. Thank you all for contributing to our journeys, for being part of this community. Please take my love and dreams with you as my gift, and I dream that each of you will discover your gifts and be moved to give them in the service to others. Namaste, I salute the light in each of you. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your gifts with us over and over and over. Our last musical gift is a gift from Susie's class.